10 being the most efficient, bang for the buck, what would you give this, we'll start with Mr. Wright.
Back of the napkin calculation, I mean, it's got to be somewhere around a 2. Your average cost per user is significantly high because you've got few users and you've got a lot of money in it.
All right, got you.
I haven't had that data to perform a cost analysis.
Okay.
When you look at the website, the infrastructure supported, I believe there was a statistic that came out that they could hire they could handle 600 users per second on the site during registration process. So if you look at that infrastructure, you look at the amount of money that was spent on this, and it was in excess of, I believe, 600 million. Is that correct? I would give this a 1 as far as operational efficiency and the type of money that was spent on it.
All right, thank you. And my second, we're going to talk projected costs going forward, because if it's so expensive to maintain this thing and they can't hire the right people, then Americans' security is going to be at risk. So going forward, if there was going to be a maintenance contract on maintaining this thing, which I'm assuming there is, you're going to have personnel that are doing that. Now, my colleague from Utah said this would be a great, availability for Chinese cyber terrorists was the term he used. But I would submit that there might be some Edward Snowdens. They don't have to be in China. And so how do you, are we, from what you know, is that system available to disallow something like that happening where somebody inside could walk out with just tons of information? Yes or no?
Based on what we know, no, or at least what I know.
Right.
I don't have enough information, again, about how the system is architected to answer that.
And I don't have enough information on the back-end process for that, but to our understanding, no.
I got you. What we want to do is guarantee a platform where that couldn't happen. So let's go back. Now, we ranked the efficiency on the dollar, but how about on a security scale? I think I'm going to know this answer. 1 to 10, 10 being the most secure. You got to give this abysmal ratings, right?
Based on what we previously said, that we would not allow it to go, it has to be a 0.
Absolutely. Has to be 0. Okay, go ahead.
So I think we've seen a bunch of security problems that were easily fixed, and a deeper dive is necessary in order to determine where we are on that scale of 1 to 10.
But versus what you know about the private industry,
there's no doubt that compared to a private system that goes live, this system has more problems than you would expect to see.
well, I don't know that that's accurate, because this is the Federal Government. We expect a lot of problems, And then finally, Mr. Henry Chow, I guess is how you say that, the Chief Information Officer for the CMS, said that the site was no problem. He would recommend it to his sister. I don't know, you all probably didn't read that. It's in our notes. So I guess this question is for Mr. Kennedy. You're the hacker. How long do you think it would take you to get his sister's information, or do you already have it?
I'm not going to confirm that second one, but no.
Okay.
No, I do not have any type of public information. But, confidently, I would say, and this is being very generous, I'd say within a day to 2 days.
1 to 2 days, you could go and hack the site based on the platform that's there now, which is not guaranteeing any 0 or 1 level of security, if that's even.
Yes, sir, and that's just understanding the amount of time it takes to understand an application is where the bulk of the 1 to 2 days comes in. It's just understanding how the infrastructure works, being able to start to kind of probe it a bit. It would take about a day or so. I could probably, be honest with you, it'd probably take a few hours, but I'm giving myself 2 days.
All right, so that's great. That's good news and bad news. It's bad news what you're saying it can be done, but it's good news is the American public's going to know this. So once you learn that system and get into it, then you can hack anybody's information really quickly.
That's correct. Yes, sir.
Makes me feel more secure.
And, sir, I think the biggest danger, too, is everybody keeps talking about the data hub. What concerns me about the data hub is it operates as a trusted broker. In other words, all these other systems trust the data hub to say the transaction is authenticated, it's trustworthy. If that's not the case, you've just unintentionally done it similar to a Donnie Brasco, introduced somebody in that everybody trusts because of the introduction, not because it's actually trustworthy.
So not only do we have politicians saying, trust me, I'm from the Federal Government, now we have computers saying it.
Essentially, yes. I mean, there is a certain level of trust that comes from the data hub.
Mr. Chairman, I yield back.
Thank you, Mr. Weber. The gentleman from Indiana, Mr. Buchan, is recognized.
Thank you, Mr.